morning, good morning. It's Taps and Takes with Royce.
Hi.
Damn it. Get up. It is Friday morning. That's right. Early on Friday. 8 a.m., baby. It's time for all that nerd news and all that, well, nerd news. That's what we're doing today. Maybe financial news with Royce. Listen, we're at Grog's Traditional Irish Pub at the northeast corner of Willow Knees. That's the place you're supposed to be doing the drinking and the eating. Okay, it's nice and cool. Sweet coolness up in this building. We love it cool, Royce.
Good.
Yeah, it keeps it frosty. So it forces the babes to become sweater babes. They bring sweaters and they cover up. Just kidding. They're not covered up.
It's a little counterintuitive on that one.
Yeah. But it is hot in Fresno and it's nice and cool in here. Now, me and Royce, the last couple of weeks, we had some comic book recommendations. We had some book recommendations. We did that. Now it's time to get back to the normal nerd news. I got the some video game news, but mainly movie and TV news that we got to be talking about.
Beauty.
And a big old controversy of sorts, because nothing can't not be controversial these days on the internet. You know, I noticed this 15, 20 years ago, and it was outrage. That was like what people would say about everything. Parents are outraged about something that's really not that big of a deal, right? But parents are outraged. You heard this in the news. And that now it turns into like anything that comes out ever, it just has controversy attached to it, which is stupid. It's not controversy. It's mouth-breathing chuds on Twitter whining about dumbass shit. I can't believe some of the times that I see on Twitter, someone could post a picture of a cat. It's like, look at my cute cat.
And there's someone that's
there's multiple.
up in arms about it.
There's multiple. There's one person who's like, oh my God, I can't believe that you keep cats captive. You're a piece of shit. And then someone else is like, fucking cats are from the devil. It's like, shut the fuck up. Twitter ain't real. Okay. It's not a real place. But we're going to talk about a lot of things that were said on Twitter today.
Sometimes people just want something to be mad about.
That is real.
Yeah. This all started because you gave me a platform for 5 minutes to complain about something different every week. And guess what? I had no shortage of material. I was like, there are a ton of things that cause outrage for me in my life.
But I think because you are like my outrage soulmate, right? We get outraged about very similar things. And it's usually about people not being conscientious to other people, right?
Laziness. I can't abide it. Laziness and inefficiency.
True that, dog. Yeah. And to buttress off of that, I used to throw $1, $5 to the homeless here and there. You know what I mean? Because I'm like, they're having a shitty day. You know what I mean? Or I'll buy them a beer. Right. Or them a beer. It's probably the last thing they need, but I still I'll hook them up. Lately, I've been like, bro, I have to work my fucking ass off just to be in debt. I have to work my ass off to make sure all my shit just doesn't get taken away from me because of the debt that I had to take on to even get into the fucking first place. Why am I giving you my money?
It doesn't help that you live in California too.
No. Where
anything that's left after you pay off all your debt just goes to the government.
Yeah, fuck that. You know what I mean? That's, where it's like, oh, you want to round up for...
And everywhere does it now.
Everywhere.
I was at PetSmart yesterday. And they're like, dude, do you want to just give us all of your money? And I was like, I'm buying puppy treats. Go away.
Yeah. And the other thing is, it's I would give money to those causes, but can I really trust PetSmart getting the extra dollar to allocate that money correctly? I've been on this trip for a bit, dude.
Do you know how nonprofits work?
Huh.
Okay. So
everyone gets paid besides the...
Yeah. So no. Okay. You have Joe Blow nonprofit, right?
Right. Yeah.
And you give $1. Legally speaking, only 10%, so 10 cents of that dollar has to go to that charity. The other 90% can legally be used for overhead, admin, all the rest of it. So sometimes when you see a company that says 100% of the proceeds go to this charity, that's something to be like, oh, okay, because the ones that don't do that, you better believe that only 10% of your contributions are going to it.
And their CEO is probably making $4 million a year.
Even if they advertise that 100% of the proceeds go to this this charity, you don't know how the charity is structured, right? So if I own, homeless kittens shelter, right? And that is the charity. And PetSmart, takes donations for homeless kittens charity, right? And then let's say they decided to give 100% of the proceeds to homeless kittens, right? Once I get it as the owner of that charity, I only have to still spend 10% on the actual homeless kittens.
Right.
I can, as running this charity, consider like my Porsche as overhead.
Yeah.
Or something like that. And not that I drive a Porsche. But.
No. But you're right. And they do. So lately I've been stingy, dog. And I'm not saying to not give, but if you're going to give, research what you're giving to. That's all I'm saying. And, times are tough these days. I just want to make sure that we're all okay. That's it, Royce. That's it. Anyways, this is all just really leaning into how bad I want a staccato. But that's a story for a different
also,
day.
too, we're talking about how much hate there is out there and how much irritation. And then we're like, oh, we can't understand why. And then we just spent the last 5 minutes bitching about it.
Did I tell you? Okay, so go watch the last episode with me, Royce, Darren, and Lindsay Lou, who came and visited from Oklahoma, right? We were talking about hiding purchases from your wives. It's up right now. Go and check it out. So that day I get home, Sarah's all, where's the staccato? And I'm like, I don't have it. She's like, when are you getting it? And I'm like, I'm not.
You tell me, Sarah.
Yeah, I was like, I'm not. She's like, she was convinced I was doing that bit
to show that,
soften her.
Hey, my buddies are doing it. Why not me?
Yeah, dude. Total. Like, I was just like, Sarah, I swear to God, I'm not. But see, just the mere me talking about it.
So, okay. But she came at you like that because she'd watched that episode.
Yeah.
Okay. So then I feel good because I gave Sarah a lot of props on that episode.
Oh, yeah.
I was singing her praises, even though I have still yet to meet her face to face.
You will definitely meet Sarah one day. I promise you that.
Now, hold on. I'm going to interrupt you.
Yeah.
So I ran the staccato on Sunday.
Uh-huh.
Oh, yeah. It's so worth it.
I know.
Sarah, he needs it.
I know.
Straight.
I will agree.
Needs one. Dude, I was blowing out dots like that. It was like ridiculous.
Dude, I've shot one a couple times and I definitely think that I should get one. But like, it's not that it's like crazy expensive because I see where the money's going. Right. Like
it is a huge difference. So we're doing speed draws.
Mm-hmm.
And so he's right behind me with the timer spike and beep, it goes off, wham. Right. And he's like, did you completely miss that? He's like looking around in the circle, and the circle is about the size of a grapefruit.
Yeah,
It's got a 4 in it, right? Because there was 1, 2, 3, and 4. And I'm like, no, look again. I blew out the center of the 4, and he couldn't see it,
and those
because it was in there.
They just shoot flat. Like whenever you put a mag in a staccato, it's just like it's so there's not, I don't know. It's hard to explain unless you like shoot one. And like, yeah, it's staccato. Like it's what the gun guys love to hate on because it's such an expensive firearm. So they're like, oh, it's staccato. But like when you shoot one, you get it. Like you kind of get it.
It's almost cheating.
It is.
It's cheating. And you know what?
Cool.
Awesome.
Yeah. Cheat on.
Yeah.
That's what I say. But not on your wife. Anyways, let's get to it.
Yeah.
You ready?
Sure.
All right. So I got a lot of movie news that we got to get to. Now, I've been very vocal about how annoyed I am at the way that they're rolling out the Avengers Doomsday stuff, right? Like they're slow rolling it. They're only showing the trailer to people that go to like Comic-Cons or anything like that, which my whole opinion on this, and I still stand by it, is now being adopted by the wider movie going audience, which is like, okay, at first it was cool to like gain hype with your little teaser bullshits or whatever. But now it's getting kind of annoying because, in my opinion, Phase 4 Marvel has been pretty weak. Like, there's a couple good things here and there, but for the most part, it's been weak. And you need to gain back not only the movie-going audience, but the kids that were watching Endgame blown away at like 14, who are now like 20. You got to give them a reason to show back up, right? Like, they're all just assuming that this is going to be some kind of crazy bazillion-dollar movie, which... maybe, statistically it might be, But like you're going up against Dune 3 that has dropped not one, but two fucking incredible trailers. And I'm big on the first two Dunes by Denny, right? So I'm like, you're going up against Dune, which there is so much hype around it right now to see how this ends. You need to release something to get us excited, right?
I'm totally opposite you.
What do you mean?
Okay, couple things. One, they should have stopped at Endgame. You could still have your Spider-Man franchise because obviously nobody's going to argue with the fact that No Way Home was fantastic, right?
Right.
I posit that nothing after Endgame was necessary at all. I could have done out with Loki was great, right?
Yeah.
But I wouldn't be upset if it never existed. I think everything has been subpar. Everything. There's nothing that I could have not done without. That being said, with the prevalence of like the AI slop images and TikTok and Instagram and stuff like that, and you know how it goes. As soon as they drop one trailer, there's 10,000 donuts online that are like, oh, leak, we spotted something, and it gives away the whole thing. And then you have the people that literally take portions of that trailer and recut it with their own AI and so you might hop on YouTube and you're watching this stuff and you're like, oh, that's crazy and stuff, like only to then almost be disappointed when you see the finished product. You're like, they built it up so much, and everything that I was watching, 90% of it was just like online garbage.
Right.
That wasn't real. But the problem is you give those people online the tools to just be misleading and get clicks and stuff like that. I think they'll probably drop their first trailer either in front of the Spider-Man movie or in the weeks following it. But you also have to remember, I mean, you're still 6 months out. Yeah. I understand Dune's doing that. Show what's being worked on and stuff like that. But I feel with like something that's as popular as the MCU and stuff like that, you have to keep it a little bit closer to your belt and then kind of ramp up in anticipation as you get closer.
The whole fucking movie plot has been leaked. Like it's been leaked for weeks. The whole thing is on fucking
I can
Reddit.
tell you the whole movie right now.
Yeah.
Everybody that's ever been in an MCU movie, even people that you thought were dead, come back to fight Dr. Doom.
Right.
Done. That's what's going to happen.
But that, and great, but that's not enough. Like it's more of like a strategic business move. Like you got to like create some kind of buzz with the normie audience. The normie audience is where you make your money, not people like you or me or anyone else that follows this shit. Like we are going to go. Right? We're going to go see it. We aren't the demographic that you need to bring in to the fray. You need to bring in normies. Why do fucking people care? You have the World Cup happening right now, crazy viewership. Why not release it during a US World Cup game? You know what I mean?
If for no other reason than the fact that all the things that they've released in the subsequent 6 years since Endgame, most people didn't even tune in for. I was on top of it, right? I watched all the movies. I went in there. I know who was who and stuff like that. I've actively skipped.
Yeah, me too.
Quite a bit.
Me too.
Because I just don't care. I don't care about Ironheart, like the second coming of Tony Stark, only now he's a she and she's ghetto as shit.
Yeah.
I don't care. You know what I mean? There's a couple other ones that came and went and I was like,
you know what sucks about the Ironheart thing too? Is that Riri Williams in the comics was an awesome character. Like her whole story, like how she came about, it was sick, but they steamrolled her by kind of pigeonholing her in the
Black Panther 2.
Black Panther movie to be like, okay, she exists. And then 3 years later, here's her little 6-episode thing. Oh, and here's Mephisto. It's like they kind of did a disservice to the character because Riri Williams in the comics is sick. She's fucking like, there's a level of care and like setup that happens within the books, right? And we were talking about comic book logic last week. You know what I mean? Like you kind of just accept it. But when they introduce these characters like X-23, you know what I mean? Like the clone of Wolverine and shit, they do a good job of building this up and introducing these characters and making people care about them. I feel like they just needed her out. They're like, we need her out. Look at Riri Williams is here.
And they throw her into the most like kind of, I would say Black Panther 2 is kind of like narratively complex in the sense that, okay, so you're already dealing with how do we kind of write out T'Challa.
Yeah.
After the
Chadwick
after
Boseman. Yeah.
Passed away, right? How do we write him out? How do we introduce Namor?
Mm-hmm.
How do we then turn around and make Namor a mutant?
Right.
Right. By subtly like laying the groundwork for the X-Men to join. And like, how do you drive it? Like, it's almost like it wasn't like an origin story, but it was like kind of a second coming on how whatever his little sister is then takes on the mantle of the back.
Yeah, sure.
Yeah. And then with all of that, and then you've got Bilbo Baggins as like the agent.
Yeah.
Who I love, by the way.
Yeah, I love him.
But you've got his storyline and how it's all going in and how like the inner workings of Wakanda are still coming. And then you still want to include Riri Williams and her whole storyline and give her 3 minutes.
Yeah.
It was poorly done.
But that's my point. Like, they could have done it in a way that her presence felt natural and celebrated, done well. It's the same kind of rushed sloppiness that the MCU has been known for in this last thing, right? Mm-hmm. So if you're coming out with the big thing, resetting it, and I think there's something to be said about slow rolling the X-Men rollout too, because I would have been fine if they just stopped after Endgame. 3 years to kind of build back up with new characters, because if you like look at Marvel Comics in general, right? The Avengers are beloved iconic characters. Spider-Man, beloved iconic characters.
I want to correct myself too that they could have, if they had ended at Endgame, that would have been great. I do believe that you still need Guardians of the Galaxy 3. Well, which I thought was fantastic. You know, like a nice tie up for that trilogy, but I don't think it didn't move the story for the greater purpose of the rest of the MCU. It was just tying that up.
And I agree, but just speaking broadly, the big overarching story stopping and kind of letting the Avengers be characters over here, rebuilding the MCU up with mutants, right? And finding a way to tell. I understand the hard situation that Marvel had in order to do this, and this is the way they're going to do it. They waited too long. And I also feel like their strategy of assuming everyone's going to be coming to this movie, which a lot of people will, but assuming everyone's coming is the wrong thing to do. You gotta hype us up a little bit.
Maybe, but you two don't count out the Russos.
No.
Those guys make really good superhero movies. They just really do.
No, they do. They know what they know what
Winter
they're doing.
Soldier is still, that was their first foray into it, and it's still the best.
No,
that was a great movie.
They are crazy talented, and maybe these big things are like 2 people jobs. You know what I mean? Like the big AAA superhero thing. Maybe it's a 2-person job, right? I just think that it's almost verging on pretentious that you are playing this so close to your chest without giving anyone anything to be excited for. And most people are getting kind of fucking over it anyways. But they did release some like character art recently, but you're really not getting much. And it's starting to annoy the piss out of me.
You got 6 months, man.
I know. DC Universe under James Gunn. We believe in James Gunn, right?
He's pretty great.
He is pretty great.
Peacemaker is just amazing.
I hear great things I didn't watch.
You didn't watch Peacemaker? Did you watch Superman?
I did.
Ugh. That's like his weak point. Go watch Peacemaker. It's fantastic.
I understand what he was doing with Superman. I was talking to someone about this the other day. I was like, I understand what he's doing with Superman because we are coming out the back end of like the Snyderverse Superman, which is like darker in tone. You know what I mean? Which I enjoyed Man of Steel. I thought Man of Steel was great.
I thought so too.
I thought they were good movies. Because I can get down on shit like that.
Except for the way that his dad or adoptive father?
Yeah, no.
Don't save me. Let me just go in this tornado.
That was a big.
It doesn't matter that you can move so fast and nobody can see you anyways. And there's a tornado.
I'm with you. That was like one of the weakest parts of that movie. But I understand what James Gunn was doing, right? He's bringing back like the Boy Scout Superman, right? I thought it was a fine movie. I didn't think it was like excellent, but I thought it was fine. I
thought he was fine. The story was a little convoluted with the whole, like, I'm going to send him to like this weird Dimension X, like prison section or something like that. Whatever. Mr. Terrific and the inclusion of the rest of like what they're not even the Justice League yet. They're like the Justice Squad.
Something like that.
Lame. Lame. I didn't care. I don't care about Hot Girl.
But Mr. Terrific had one of the sickest scenes in that whole movie.
I just like
no. I will be an apologist for Mr. Terrific because he had one of the sickest scenes in that whole movie when all those fucking drones were just beating the shit out of everyone. And Lois is like, like that was sick. I understand what he was doing. But then I was like, okay, it makes sense that if he's like this and then Supergirl is kind of a more hardline badass kind of character. Like she is kind of the not quite anti-hero, but more like, oh, I'll fucking kill you to Superman's Boy Scout routine. I'm like, that would be a cool juxtaposition, right? Yeah.
Did you see Supergirl?
I'm seeing it. I'm trying to see it tomorrow. It bombed like bad.
Yeah.
And that was a movie that James Gunn did not direct. So there's new reports saying that he's going to potentially be directing the next Batman movie, introducing Batman into the DCU.
He's wrong for it. I love James Gunn.
Yeah.
He's wrong for Batman.
Okay, why? Why do you think?
He can't do his stuff without a little humor, a little tongue in cheek. You know, and it plays well for everything that he's done, but he hasn't really ever tackled like a dark, serious story atmosphere like Batman, right? And if you're doing like the Brave and the Bold is supposed to be with Damian, right? So then you have to go into like, oh, I'm assuming you're going to have to like at some point go into like who's Damian's mother. Then you have to go Talia and Ra's al Ghul and all that kind of stuff. I just don't think that anything about that plays to James Gunn's strengths.
I think it's this is a multi-pronged issue.
By the way, are you impressed? I'm keeping up on the nerd stuff right now.
Yeah, I am impressed.
Yeah.
Yay, Royce.
Yeah.
I think this is a crack response to Supergirl bombing. I also feel like there's a lot of other things behind the scenes with the Paramount takeover of WB, the uncertainty of where things are going to go. Supergirl bombing. And this is my criticism. I don't make movies. I'm not a beloved director and now studio head, James Gunn. So he's done it. I haven't. But I will say, if you're coming out swinging with Superman right off the bat, okay, you need to do the big three. You need to do Superman, Batman, Wonder Woman right off the bat. That's what you need to do. You need to give them their own individual movies, one after the other. They went Supergirl. Okay, still kind of ancillary, but like that's not the big three. He's taken over. He's been in charge for about 3.5 years, 4 years almost. They came out with Superman, now Supergirl. One did all right, made about $700 million at the box office with Superman. Supergirl bombed outright. And I hear it's a good movie. It's just you got the normal chuds online complaining about a woman, and then also it just didn't need to exist.
Here's the other problem too. Grain of salt, if you will. Who gives a shit about Supergirl? Like, seriously, who cares?
I'd rather have seen Power Girl with her big ass titties like running around. You know,
I would. That's not a draw.
Yeah,
and it is a very So obviously, he took very little known characters in the Guardians of the Galaxy and made fantastic movies around it. That rarely happens. And that is like a particular type of magic that only James Gunn can do. So to then turn around and give directing duties to someone else for a more kind of like obscure character that like, we have no reason to care about this character unless you do a movie so good
that we give a shit.
We start caring. I feel like the ball was dropped the moment he decided that I'm too busy to do this. Someone else is going to do it. You are right. But then again, James Gunn, as we do believe in James Gunn. But I also think he kind of gets high on his own supply a little bit. When they were originally announcing projects where everyone's like, okay, who's going to be Batman? Who's going to be Wonder Woman? Like everyone's asking these questions, right? He's talking about doing a Sergeant Rock movie. He's talking about doing Clayface is coming out. Like you're talking about, I don't know, like why put the money and effort towards these when you can like do these after you gain, much like
giving me something to get hyped about. You do Wonder Woman, Superman, and Batman really well. Now you've gained equity with the audience to give a shit about a Clayface movie, to give a shit about a Sergeant Rock movie. Like, okay, it's a little odd, but okay, I believe in him, right? That's the thing. It's
but
like,
his thing has always been, I want to tell a story about the marginalized, the weaker characters, the forgotten ones. And obviously you saw him do that with Guardians of the Galaxy, but he really shined with his straight to streaming remake, sequel. I don't know what it was, of Suicide Squad.
Yeah.
I loved his take on Suicide Squad.
It was a good movie.
Freaking fantastic. But I mean, this is him at almost his most cinematic, narcissistic in nature. Like, I'm not going to just take 4 or 5 unknown characters and thrust them towards you. I'm going to take all of them. I'm going to take King Shark and Polka Dot Man and Javelin and like, I'm going to take everybody. Now, granted,
a bunch of dice.
There's only about 3 that are going to make it through the film.
Yeah.
But, that was him like, you like Guardians of the Galaxy? Watch what I can do. And I thought it was great. I thought it was fantastic. I just, you said it yourself, high on your own supply. At some point, though, if you are steering the entire DCU machine, you're right. You got to lead with your main entries. You got to save this addiction to introducing new far-flung characters.
Right.
Maybe for later, if at all.
You're right. I'm telling you, I think it's just mismanagement is not the right word. It's just probably the wrong call. But he has done miracles because no one gave a shit about Guardians of the Galaxy before.
And it was fantastic.
And when they announced it, everyone was like, really? And then fucking boom, just beloved characters.
Yeah.
But you're dealing with the most iconic characters ever. Superman, the most iconic superhero of all time. Of all time. There is, Wolverine, everyone knows who Wolverine is, but it's Superman.
Right.
Batman. Right. Wonder. These characters are the most iconic superheroes in history. And you just got the keys to the kingdom and the money to do it. Right?
Sergeant Rock. Let's leave with that.
Yeah. Let's do a Sergeant Rock movie. Okay. Great directors. Christopher Nolan.
Yep.
Fantastic director. Does good work. Does amazing work. I think he's almost batting 1,000 on his movies. Like anything which one do you not like? Memento,
okay,
bro.
So
Memento?
Memento's fantastic. It took me a while. I think it was probably because it was kind of mismarketed, and I went into The Prestige expecting something else. Not really until
that was the point.
I know. Not really until subsequent viewing did I realize what was going on. I'm like, oh, it's a movie told as a magic trick. I get it. But initial hit, it was just okay. Batman Begins was just okay for me.
I thought Batman Begins was just fucking rad.
It was just another origin. Dark Knight was fantastic.
Dark Knight is one of the best superhero films ever made.
Agreed. Dark Knight Rises.
Yeah, it's fine.
It's fine. I thought
Bane being like, that was just fine.
But the fact, I don't know, it's so weird to like, okay, so especially towards the climax of Dark Knight Rises, and I've released all of these inmates from prison, and I've given them guns, and we're going to go up against all of Gotham PD and their guns, and somehow within 3 minutes, it's devolved to hand-to-hand fighting in the middle of town square, and I'm like, wait, you guys only each bring 3 rounds to the gunfight for the soul of the city, right? I don't know. I thought it was. I understand, like, you got to have the fisticuffs, but if everybody's got guns and it's like this huge,
but okay. Those gripes aside, look at like Dunkirk. Okay. Everything that he does, he puts his whole ass into, and he loves movies.
I agree. And the parts that I woke up for in Dunkirk, they were pretty good. And Interstellar, I'll never watch it again. I know
love that
I know
movie.
there are lovers of it. couldn't.
Not only that, I
care.
fucking love Tenet too. I love Tenet. I fucking love that movie because Christopher Nolan is good about doing these concept movies like Inception, right? That it's like,
which was fantastic. I love Inception.
He is good. He's a movie maker that loves movies. Like he loves film. He tries to do something interesting whenever he does it. Like he has an angle. He's really going to stick to it. The Odyssey is the movie he's wanted to make like his whole life, right? Early reviews are calling this a masterpiece. Now, I knew it was going to be good because it's Nolan.
Right.
70 mil IMAX, the whole thing shot on that. But I also had a little bit of reservations going in because I was like, okay, why are they all having an American accent? Is it because Matt Damon can't do an English accent? That kind of throws me off a little bit, but it's fine. Okay. Then they're using like more modern language and like, yeah, you can kind of like make it easier for the way like Homer wrote Odyssey. Obviously, you can bring it up to modern standards, but like there's still like an ancient kind of way or like a historical way of speaking to bring it to modern times. When you're saying things like my dad, you know what I mean? It's just those are nitpicky, but you're still like kind of throws you off a little bit. There is, again, nothing cannot have controversy these days, which is stupid because it's like, it's a movie. I'm going to see the movie and I'm going to rate the movie after I see the movie, whether or not it was good or not. Right. So the Odyssey has groups of chuds on the internet whining about some of the casting choices that they have made. Lupita Nyong'o playing Helena Troy, Zendaya playing, I think she's a goddess, isn't she? Yeah, she's God, who is she playing? I think she's playing Athena. Okay. But it's kind of like you gotta see a movie before you judge it, and you gotta base it on the movie itself. Now, I have been very honest with like, okay, there are some characters that you should not do any form of like race swapping. And that's like if their character is, inherently dependent on that as a background, like Magneto is a great example, right? I brought this up, he's a survivor of the Holocaust, but what makes him interesting is that he adopts the Nazi kind of survival of the fittest, the master race kind of thing. And that's what makes him a compelling character. Like,
right, but he could just as easily be Magneto.
But he can't.
But he could.
He can't.
And then she could.
I disagree.
Women survive the Holocaust as well.
What? Polaris exists. Okay. You're right. But I'm saying like doing that is probably not smart, right? Like if Ryan Gosling was to play Black Panther, this would be a bad call. Okay. Let's be real. This is like, who gives a shit, right? Really? Are you going to get all fucked up over who's playing what in a fictional, you know what I mean? Like,
I have answers to both of the things.
This is so stupid.
When you're ready for them.
Go for it.
Okay. The first one with changing the language. I read an article and the reason why he did it is because for the longest time before Homer put it down on paper as the Iliad and the Odyssey and stuff like that, it was all told around campfires and it was totally in the oral tradition. Well, if you're going to tell stories and it's going to kind of become like the viral story of the age, right? Where different storytellers and different people are telling the same story from their own POVs and their own language, stuff like that. It actually doesn't bother me that this is just the most recent telling of a story old as time, right?
Right.
It's just another. Christopher Nolan is using the film as his own storytelling thing.
And he
for his own time frame, for his own way of doing it and stuff like that, his own casting. Hey, good on you. Do I have an issue with Elliot Page being Achilles? I mean, not anymore. If you had told me on paper, right, that Elliot Page was Achilles.
I didn't know that was a thing.
You didn't know that?
I didn't know that.
Have you? Oh, I'm sorry. Have you been on the internet?
I was like just looking at that.
Okay. After, when you get a chance, go down that rabbit hole of that. So Elliot Page is playing Achilles.
Okay.
Right. And when I read that, I was like, come on, like none of this. Let's stop. Achilles, Elliot Page, really? Who was Ellen Page until like 5 years ago?
Right.
as the greatest warrior in the epic. But then came the memes. Then
it was worth
came the AI videos. And I was like, I'm so glad that this happened because this stuff is awesome. Because now they've started putting Elliot Page as like Gerard Butler from from 300. They put her in like AI and like Terminator movies and stuff like that. And it's just fantastic. It's so good.
Hey, if it's worth the memes. But like, even with all that being said, I'd still watch the movie. And then if they're shitty in the movie, I'll be like, oh yeah, that was a bad call. Yeah. If they can't pull it off.
I'm sure they will. But I'm sure they'll pull it off. But if everybody will just be.
If they do pull it off, I'll be like, okay, well, you're chuds. But you can't. Memes are different. Memes are like, okay, let's make light of the situation and laugh. It still depends if they bring it. And these aren't necessarily bad actor. I mean, these are Zendaya and fucking Lupita Nyong'o are incredible actresses. Period. I haven't been a big fan of Elliot Page's stuff like throughout.
I mean, Juno was fantastic.
Juno was great. They were great in Inception.
And I liked, and I liked her and then his arc in Umbrella Academy.
Yeah.
And the way that they did it in between seasons, because she became he in between seasons, right? And they addressed it so appropriately by just one word in it. And in it, Elliot Page is, I can't remember, Vanya in it. And then Vanya to Victor. And he just goes, oh, I go by Victor now. And he's dressed as a man. And they're like, yeah, okay. Cool. Yeah. You're still our sibling. Right. Moving on. Perfect. Yeah. That's the way you should deal with it. Let's not make a big deal out of it. Let's, whatever. You want me to call you Victor now? Cool. Yeah. You're still the same person.
And I will be interesting to see, because this is most likely their biggest role since that. Like and I hear that all of these characters have about 7 minutes total in the film, right? To see if they can pull it off will be interesting. But I'm going to base it off that. I'm not going to go and like shit on this movie before seeing it. With that being said, I think my biggest complaint will be the accents. And I know that sounds stupid because I'm American, but like, it's going to throw me off if they don't have the like an English accent. It's going to fucking throw me off, dude. It's going to throw me off.
I remember going to the theater when I was 14 and seeing Robin Hood, Prince of Thieves, which Kevin Costner notoriously did not have an English accent in that.
But that was a great movie.
It's a great movie, so who cares?
Yeah.
Like that's like from a teenage, like that's always been burned in my brain. Dude, you make a good movie, I don't care.
Yeah, that's my point. If it's a good movie, I'm not going to give a shit. I think that would be my biggest complaint about the whole thing is that, and I really firmly believe it's because Matt Damon can't do a convincing English accent. That's why everyone has an American accent. I'm convinced that's the reason why.
Have you gone down that Google rabbit hole?
No.
To find out if that's a real thing?
No, but I'm convinced that's okay. I'm just convinced. Listen, there's one more thing I want to talk about real quick. Paramount buying Warner Brothers. Warner Brothers had gone into some shit because of bad CEO and company oversight. Okay. Was on the verge of going bankrupt. But the last 4 years, Warner Brothers has been just nailing whatever they're doing. Like, I think it was crazy. They had like 5 number 1 movies last year, something like that. They're killing it. Warner Brothers is crazy killing it. Well, they are selling. And Paramount, the notorious Netflix buyout, Paramount whining and throwing a fit and mine. So they are being sued by 12 states right now. 12 states are suing Paramount for the takeover of Warner Brothers because they're saying it's going to be a conflict of interest. It's going to be monopoly. Right. Like if you look at it, you're going to be...
Which is total horseshit. I mean, there's still...
If you look at it...
If you combine those, there's still 4 major studios. Can you have 4 of something and have a monopoly?
It's not necessarily that. It's more of the news. It's a bundled deal. It's not necessarily the movie end of things. It's the media sources that they own that is like clearly going to become like potentially a conflict of interest. And publicly, they've basically said the quiet part out loud. Like, we're tight with the president, so we're going to be able to get this done kind of a thing. Like, they literally said the quiet part out loud. So 12 states are about to. But here's the more big thing about this picture is that many people don't think that they can even really afford it. And the Ellisons have owned Paramount for a few years now. They haven't even proven that they can run Paramount, let alone one of the most historical and largest studios, including HBO. Okay. For that much money. And they're saying that the amount of foreign Saudi money that they're going to have to get is a conflict of interest for us as Americans. When you have to take a $500 billion of, what was it? Not $500 billion. What was it? It was like something like $40 billion of Saudi money in order to pull this off. And they're going to own all these news conglomerates.
What was the price?
It was $100 billion.
Something like that.
It's one of the largest. It is the largest media acquisition in history.
Yeah, because I think Disney bought Fox for what?
$62 billion.
Something, yeah. Okay.
The largest. And you know what? As this is happening, Warner Brothers just keeps on shitting out bangers, right?
Well, with the exception of Supergirl.
Yeah. Let it rest in peace. But for the most part, and HBO and all, they're all succeeding. So it's going to be interesting to find out because estimate is going to cost the Ellisons $650 million. And on top of that, their debt rating is horrendous. Like, to think that they can go and do this without foreign investment. And when you're buying people that control news outlets, people that control media, people can, the Ellisons also own TikTok. You know what I mean? Like, do they really? They're the largest, one of the largest investors in TikTok now. You know what I mean? After it was forced to sell, it went to the president's buddies, the Ellisons being one of them. And, you're verging on something that could be potentially dangerous, right? I never thought that the Ellisons, politics aside, were the right owners for Warner Brothers. I thought it made sense that Netflix was going to do it because they struggle with the movie end of stuff. They struggle with theatrical releases, and owning a movie studio that has that kind of legacy that's being successfully ran with the people there right now. You have less kind of redundancy for certain people and creatives losing their jobs if Netflix bought it. That makes sense. Okay. The Ellisons buy it. I'm not convinced they can run it.
As far as Paramount goes, what are the noteworthy movies they've cranked out in the last 5 years?
Jackass 5.
Mission Impossible. One a Dead Reckoning and Final Reckoning.
I don't think that was the Ellisons.
That was Paramount.
But it wasn't the Ellisons.
Oh, okay. I'm just talking about Paramount as an actual studio.
Yeah.
And Top Gun Maverick. Which was good. Yeah. It was great, but you've got 3 in the last 5 years. I mean, I don't know.
Jackass 5 is the only big notable thing they're putting out this year.
That's big and notable. I don't.
That's what I'm saying. It doesn't. You have a legacy studio, iconic, that is and HBO that is just crushing and have been for like 3 or 4 years now. And you have people that, Larry Ellison, he loves what he does. Like he is a fan, right? But you took on Paramount. This is a bigger deal. And when you cross the streams, like they're talking about rebranding HBO, it would be the dumbest thing in history.
How many rebrands have it already gone through? It was HBO, then HBO Max,
I'm talking
HBO
about
Go.
Eliminating HBO. It's not HBO. That's the dumbest fucking thing you can do.
I mean, you're talking about something that brought you Game of Thrones, The Sopranos, The Wire, right? HBO.
Yep.
DCU shows that have come out on there and stuff like that. It's amazing. Go ahead, have a seat.
That's going to turn into Paramount Plus. It's stupid. It's a bad call.
Paramount Plus should fold into HBO if they're going to own both of them.
Yeah. I'm not convinced it's going to work out, but we'll have to wait. Report on that later. Royce.
Yes.
I love you, Doug. Thank you so very much.
You're welcome
for joining me today. And if you want to see us live, we're live right now. Twitch.tv/The Doover Podcast. Are you coming in?
Where?
Well, because we recorded this on a Tuesday. Friday.
Are
you good too?
I have to check with my wife. She's been gone for her birthday. So she hasn't filled out the dry erase board that basically runs my life in the kitchen.
Spoken like a true husband. Yeah. I got to talk about my wife.
Yep.
But anyways, thank you for joining us. Until next week, gotta go. Love you. Bye.